All right, welcome back, everybody. We're going from one strong female protagonist of Minnie Mouse to another of Samus Aran, going on to Super Duper Metroid, run by azder. And azder, it's all yours.
All right, so tiny explanation beforehand before I start. I am running 100% because we're gonna have a lot of crazy speed booster shenanigans in this run, and this ROM hack also starts with a completely custom coded minigame where you move the gunship around and you shoot asteroids. There's actually an Easter egg with this where if you dodge all the asteroids without firing a single shot, then you land at a different landing site. It saves around 20 seconds, so I may reset to attempt this a couple of times to try to show it off, but I do need to concentrate during it, so I just wanted to explain that before starting. So if we're ready, you can go in 3, 2, 1, go.
The last Metroid is in captivity. The galaxy is at peace.
So this minigame is kind of RNG based. It's not a thing I really get reliably, but it saves enough time that it's worth going for. It's starting off real nice here. Usually they're more clustered, more dense. Okay, that's a hit. I'll try one more time. And if I don't get it, we'll just move on.
The last Metroid is in captivity. The galaxy is at peace.
That was really hard configuration to deal with. Wow. Okay, well, we got hit, so we're just gonna go. This minigame kind of seems inconsequential, like it doesn't appear to do anything, but that's the one kind of feature that it has. So this ROM hack was released late last year, so it's still very recent, and it uses Project Base version 0.8, which is a template hack that changes, completely overhauls the mechanics of the game to be smoother and a lot faster. As I mentioned, it's going to have a lot of crazy speed booster stuff later. First thing we're going to do is go and get missiles and bombs from up here. This wall jump's kind of tough. So new to version 0.8 of Project Base is a big menu that gives you lots of customization options for which of the Project Base features you want in. And I'm going to configure that now, actually, so it's kind of like an RPG style menu. RPG speedrun menu, basically. So what I did was I set screen shake, beam flicker, and speed echoes off. And that reduces lag. I also set the HUD. You can pick one of several custom HUDs in this. I set it to the randomizer one, which tells me what my item maxes are. So it's easy for me to tell if I got everything or not. Now we're going to get morph. There's actually, oh my goodness, there's actually several different morph locations in this, but I think this criteria one's by far the fastest for any category. There's a couple locations in Rinster where you can get it. but that's mostly for like first-time players who are kind of wandering off. The sack is very, very open. If you know the standard speedrun tricks, you can basically go almost anywhere. There is a set item order, but it's actually very lengthy to follow the intended order, so we're not going to do that. What we are going to do is we're going to actually go straight to Meridian to get supers and gravity suit. Now, this room, you're supposed to have grapple for. I need to hit a deboost off a Gmer that I have to wait for here. So it's pretty important to get this deboost. If I don't get it, I lose a lot of time. Oh, that sucks. So I have to reset the room now and wait for it again. And like Strizer said, this pack has a built-in rando as well as a built-in mirror mode. So if you watch this run, there we go. If you watch this run, you'll be able to see where all 100 items are, so you can do a rando. So I'm going to get super missiles here with a kind of sequence break. Do a precise bounce ball into that tunnel. So this tunnel has a bit of a lip, and it's basically a gravity / spring ball check. But if you do a very specific bounce, you can get up that section of the tunnel. So safety save here, because going to Meridian straight away is actually very dangerous. This room especially is dangerous. I gotta make sure I mock ball out of this, under this fish. So a couple of the main features of project-based movement are respin and speed keep, which you both saw used there. Speed keep basically means that if you jump smoothly from one ledge to another, you're going to keep your running speed and not reset it when you're landing. And this is actually a backdoor to Ice Beam, which is actually normally locked by Dragon. That gate that I went through that was already open is open if you come here before fighting Spore Spawn. Now, early Ice Beam actually doesn't do a lot for us. The main reason that I go this way is because of it's a much faster path to getting gravity. And we have to fight Botrin for gravity, which is very scary. And I actually cut a super missile out of this early game route because the super missile is really slow suitless stuff. So I'm going to be very careful in this fight. Good pattern. Oh, you didn't spit it. I hope he spits this round. Good fight, let's go. Alright, there's gravity suit. So we're going to go leave Meridian now and go to the wreck ship to get power bombs. Entering the wreck ship requires super missiles, which is why we wanted to head this direction first. But yeah, that is one of the hardest parts of the run. And if there's any donations, it'd be easier for me to concentrate with them being red from this point forward. So
currently don't have anything new, but we'll let you know if we do.
Cool. So now we're actually getting into more of the item cleanup. We're just doing the stuff that's on path in Meridian. Going to exit out into Norfair and head back to Criteria to loop to the wreck ship. This wreck ship is technically going to be earlier than intended as well. You're actually supposed to go all the way to Dragon and get Space Jump in the intended route, because the only other ways to get to wreck ship are like speed booster or bomb jumping, or actually Project Base has a rocket jump you can do by shooting downward with your supers. Which actually isn't used at all in this run. It's used in Hyper Metroid, which is a hack from 2015 that uses an older version of Project Base. That was the biggest Project Base hack. Actually, it still is the biggest Project Base hack, but it was like the only full game size one before this one came along, I think. There's also Ancient Chozo, but that's kind of just a reskin and it's still mostly the vanilla map, so I kind of don't count it. Sorry, Strizer. That was close. Okay, so we're gonna fight Phantoon here, the first of the main bosses. Oh, this atomic is very annoying if you don't get in the tunnel. Phantoon's extremely fast in Project Base. Basically, like, his normal figure 8 pattern, he only does once at the start of the fight, and once you start shooting him, he just continually charges at you until you kill him. So it's pretty important to have a good amount of ammo to deal with him. Because he's actually you're not going to be in a position to get him to drop very many drops. Unless you use the super to enrage him. Yeah. That's decent. Okay. Re-spinning out of the bomb jump can be kind of awkward. So you might have noticed me using the Backfill. That's another project-based feature. It's basically a damage boost on command. It's sometimes a good option for getting through rooms, sometimes not. Because you have to deal with waiting through animation frames and stuff. So it kind of depends on whether it's the most effective way to get across the gap or not. It doesn't actually obsolete regular damage boosts. Regular damage boosts still have use because you can't do a backflip from midair. You have to do a regular damage boost for that. And in Project Base, they made it so that if you hold run as you do a damage boost, the boost actually goes much higher. Okay, so now that we have power bombs, we're going to go get Speed Booster. And then you'll see the craziness of Project Base 0.8 really kick in. So the way that Speed Booster is crazier, one of the simplest ways is normally in vanilla Super Metroid, you need 4 cycles of Samus's run animation to charge the Speed Booster up. And in Project Base, you only need 2 cycles. Or, using the short charge trick terminology, you can think of it as 2 taps. Only 2 are needed to activate it. So you can charge a Shine Spark in a very short distance. But over the years of developing Project Base, there's been new features added to Speed Booster. So in 0.7.3, they added the ability to steer Shine Sparks. So you can like slightly change the trajectory. So you don't have to be perfectly aligned when you spark with something. You can adjust it during the spark. And at 0.8, they added the ability to cancel a Shine Spark with 3 spin. And when you land on the ground from it, you actually still have your speed echo, so you can immediately charge another one if you want. So that makes using the Speed Booster incredibly freeform, and you can do almost anything with it. So gravity helps here a lot. It doesn't actually protect from heat like it does in the vanilla game, but it still gives you the full damage reduction applied to the heat. So I'm taking 4 times less heat damage than I normally would, and that's good because Speed Booster is actually in Lower North here, which we took kind of a hidden path into. So basically the route for this is structured so that you can get Speed Booster as quickly as possible. So we're going to start seeing it in action now. Oh my goodness. So in Project Base, you can also do what are called recursive sparks. Basically, that means your charging up your speed booster actually does not have to be done all in a straight line. Because of speed keep, you can segment the movement of it. You can, if you're spin jumping and you turn around during usage of the speed booster, you don't lose it like you normally would. So it sounds easier to do a lot of the speed booster stuff because it's like, oh, you can just do it in a shorter distance, but there are techniques to be able to do it in even shorter distance by doing a jump turnaround and managing your space effectively. So it's not really easier to do a lot of this stuff in attack. There's really high skill ceiling for some of this stuff. Also, this croc is really terrible compared to Vanilla's. Because in Vanilla, what you can do for Croc is you can shoot multiple missiles at a time into his mouth, and it'll stack the number of steps that he takes backwards. But in Duper, for whatever reason, they don't stack. So if you shoot him with multiple missiles per mouth open, it still only pushes him back one. Which I've seen some new players get pretty gotcha'd by. Okay, so we're going to get Grapple here. This shows off some pretty good use of the speed booster. So a note on colors, while I'm like the solid pastel pink, I have the speed booster echoes active, but I don't have a shine spark charged. When I have a shine spark charged is when I'm flashing like a rainbowish, like deeper pink. So to be able to use the shine spark effectively, it's really important to be able to distinguish between those two states. I wanted to get another Shrine Spark here, but it's not really mandatory.
You have a quick moment for a donation?
Yeah.
We received a 65 US donation from Minnie Mouse, but what's more important is we received a $100 US donation from Tracy M saying, "Have a duper run."
Thank you, Tracy. Tracy's been one of the biggest supporters in doing a lot of the stuff that I do. A lot of different Super Metroid, Link to the Past, randos, ROM hacks, and stuff. And she does a lot of work in organizing the main Super Metroid and SMZ3 tourneys. So we're doing a lot of cleanup in Norfair here. It's not all of it. We'll be back much later to get Lower Norfair done. Actually, still won't have Varia for it, because Varia is kind of buried in a really weird spot. Varia's towards the end of the run. We are about to get Spring Ball. And Spring Ball is cool in this because it lets you run as a ball. And near to Project Base 0.8, you can actually charge a Shrine Spark in ball form, and you can even ball spark, like the. Oh, heck! That was supposed to be clear for me to spark up. Okay. Yeah, so there's a few items that require ball sparking that we'll get to see. There's another feature I'm going to show off shortly. It only comes up once in this run. If you're running with Speed Booster, you can actually run on the surface of liquids. That's also a new 0.8 thing. So we're going to run on the surface of the lava here to get the speed to go through those blocks up top. Only those top 2 blocks are speed blocks, and the rest are crumbles. So you have to do that in a very specific way. So a lot of this is just doing Shine Sparks in ways that I can try to keep the Shine Spark state out of it and do another one. The one that I missed there is one of the hardest ones. Okay, so now we are headed to Rinster, and we're gonna clean up basically the entire thing in one go. No, that's not a good spot to land. That's better. On the way, we're actually gonna stop at a hidden part of the wreck ship. I'll explain it a bit. Actually, this Shine Spark to get this reserve tank is really hard. I could have gotten a charge running off that ledge there, but I didn't get it. And the spark into the ceiling here is really hard to aim if you don't have a lineup for it. Like if you aren't lined up against a surface, which is the case for the fastest strat. So I basically go for the fastest strat once, and if I don't get it, I do a safe strat. There's another one where I can like land on the other side of the. That's hard to explain. There's a few different strats for that one. So this is the pirate ship. It's a hidden section of wreck ship, and it's actually where the alternate landing site is as well. If I had gotten the minigame at the start of the run, I would have landed here, and it would have saved like 20 seconds on the way to getting bombs. But we've basically got this kill section here, which is really hard to do optimally with Speed Booster. And you get plasma beams. This is basically a plasma pirate kill room, and we're just going to use Speed Booster for it. Okay, that is really hard to do well. So this pirate ship only shows up once you've beaten Fantoon. So if you pass through this area going to Brinstar early game, you won't see it there, and you won't. There's a hint to know to look here. There's like a map drawn in the background of one of the wreck ship rooms, but it's kind of hard to interpret the hint. there's a lot of just junk item cleanup in Rinster, and I think this is the hardest section of the run to like not make mistakes in. It's the hardest section to do optimally. The first section up to bot screen for Gravity Suit is the hardest to survive and like avoid resetting. But this is the hardest part to actually do well. I have to bend this spark downwards to avoid bonking one of the overhangs in the ceiling there. A lot of these rooms are kind of clunky too, and they don't really have good solutions if I miss the speed booster tech that I'm trying to go for. So there's some optional sparks, like if I manage to get a clean respin onto that ledge there, I could spark left to that E-tank. But usually I bonk something there. It's tough to rely on all of these. So this is Craig's lair now. We're gonna come up on a crate fight pretty soon. Crate doesn't really open much in terms of progression. The only thing it locks aside from the endgame is it directly gives you a reserve tank behind him, and it unlocks a door elsewhere in Craig's lair to get Wave Beam. The other bosses all kind of have, except Ridley actually. Oh dang, oh I did get it, okay. So project-based crate quick kill is a bit different because he starts rising immediately. Once you shoot his mouth at the health threshold, he doesn't have a period where he lets his mouth sit open, just sitting there. But luckily, he still lets you shoot his open mouth as he's rising. It's just kind of a different style quick kill. He's got more health too, so it takes 6 supers instead of 4. That's another one of those like optional sparks that I don't always get, but helps a lot in moving horizontally here. So I want to go out of my way to make sure I get a spark here, because this room is like very awkward and bumpy on the floor, and I want to make sure I spark over all that crap. I had to do it on the way back too, but the setup isn't quite as awkward. Yeah, I didn't want to freeze that fish. That's actually never happened before, literally ever. Don't shoot there too early, I guess. I was trying to shoot the door.
The classic words of a marathon run.
Yeah.
And so is a $20 donation from Benox50 saying SM Hacks speedruns are good. Let's go, azder.
Yeah, thanks, Benox. Benox is the creator of Super Metroid Ascent, which was run earlier by Linka Meister. I think Linka has done Ascent for like 20 marathons now. Ascent Hundo. Ascent has a lot of creative custom code and weird stuff too. It's a very like non-standard kind of formula.
Just want to say that brings us to less than $50 from our current goal. So with everybody's help, I'm pretty sure we can reach that milestone as well.
Nice. I always love when I get to keep the speed echoes all the way through that block in the floor. Okay, so we've got Spore Spawn. This is why I... Nice. Got Spore Spawn. You can 2-round him with 2 missiles per round. Oh, I didn't have super selected. That sucks. It's really easy for the spores to get in the way of your supers, especially in the first round. So I was happy I made it through that and I squandered it. The spore spawn cycles are a lot faster in Project Base, but you still don't want to have to sit through extra ones. Camera doesn't really follow you on that jump, so optimally you actually do it kind of blind. Okay, that is the entirety of Rinster. And we're going back into Norfair now. So I'm going to lay this power bomb for seemingly no reason, but it actually is like low enough to open the door there. I can't believe I still kept that spark through all of that. That spark's not necessary, but it's actually like really hard to keep that spark from all the way up top. Oh, if I landed on that platform, I would have been able to keep the spark. Oh, this wave's really hard. There's a couple sparks that you can do where you like can actually steer it around a ledge. Like there's no completely straight upward line for you to spark, but you can just manage to steer it around a ledge. But it's really hard to get this to work. That's one of them. There's another one like that later in Meridian. So now we're going back into Lower Norfair, the way that we exited last time. Now we have, we've got high jump, we've got a lot more E-tanks, we've got spring ball. So there's actually like a whole, there is a gravitron in this room, which is the name of the lava dive room. Sorry, in this hack there's a gravitron, which is the name of the lava dive room to the Lower Norfair elevator in vanilla. But we don't actually end up ever going through it because we just backdoor Lower Norfair every time we go into it. And that ball spark I did is a shortcut to get to the part where Ridley is. It's nice to not have to go through the Lower Norfair elevator too, because there's a room, like the first room coming down the elevator has a lot of Deskigas that are in like a mandatory kill room. And it's a pretty terrible room to have to do, so it's nice that we don't have to do it. What's also nice is there's this ammo station right before the Ridley fight that refills all of our supers. I want to make sure that oh my god, how did I lose my speed? That sucks. Oh well. So a tiny feature that is really inconsequential in this run, but in Project Base, if you have Ice Beam and you're charging your beam, it actually slows down the heat damage. So that's technically shown off here, but it's not really consequential. So Ridley's prize is Spur Tech. And this is gonna look weird, but I'm also about to get Varia. So it might look from watching this run that Varia is behind Ridley, but this is actually kind of a backdoor Varia. The way you're supposed to get Varia is by fighting GT. And the way to get to GT from the front is by powerbombing the tube in Meridian. So this area down here where GT is actually pretty neat. Obviously it's very slow to like go through Meridian first to get here, which is why we do it this way. Oh, he's not dead. I thought he was dead. But this area has two potential states. So you see it's flooded with lava right now. But if you broke the tube in Meridian to get down here, this area gets flooded, and it's more like a Meridian biome. So I'm going to break the tube here and go into the room to the left. And this is now a Meridian style room. You can still see the Norfair architecture in the bubbles and stuff. But now there's Meridian enemies here and stuff. If I didn't break the tube, that room still would have been a Norfair room and it would have been flooded with lava just like the other rooms. This is one of the other weave spots, and I got scared and I didn't go for it. Because it's hard. I canceled my spark there and did a second one from that other ledge, but you don't have to do that. So this super is behind an enemy breakable block. You want to get the snail to hit it. Enemy breakable blocks are a thing in the vanilla game. They're what the Shacktool sand room uses. But they're basically not used anywhere else in vanilla. So to most people, it seems like they're just Shacktool specific blocks. But they actually break on contact with any enemy that has collision. Or any enemy that checks collision, basically. And we've got a Dragon fight that we have charged plasma X-ray for, so we can do what we call microwaving. So that's using X-ray to wait out Dragon's iframes, and the piercing effect of plasma means that the shot is still there even after it hits an enemy. So now we have space jump, which honestly is not too important with how many uses Speed Booster has. Space jump barely does anything. Oh, that cancel and landing to recharge that spark. Doing it there is actually really hard. It's never really talked about who made the hack. So Super Duper Metroid was made by Dalton and Metaquarius. Dalton is the original author of it. He also made the Grand Prix mini hacks, and he made Low Impact, which is like a gimmick hack that has fall damage. Just not a very good Super Metroid hack mechanic, but it's like, I think the main full game hack that he wanted to make, and I think he stopped working on it in 2017 due to life stuff, and thought he might pick it back up, and in 2021 he kind of resigned himself to the fact that he wasn't going to. So he posted the unfinished hack on the Metroid construction forums. And Metaquarius actually ended up finishing the rest of it. I wanted to keep that spark, that sucks. So Metaquarius is known for Z Factor and the Y Faster series. Z Factor's a full game, very vanilla style hack, which is really cryptic and it's like one of the easiest hacks to get lost in, the hardest to figure out where to go. Oh, I thought that backflip might work. There's another ball spark required item. That's the last one. Basically have almost everything. This is actually like the most intended first super. There's 4 possible ones. I got the most sequence breaky one. This one's deep in Meridian, but it's the one that you don't, it's not really hidden. And you don't need tricks to get it or anything. So yeah, Metaquarius made the Y Faster speedrun themed series of hacks, which are short hacks. Y Faster 2. I have all the 80% records for the Y Faster series right now. The Y Faster 2 hacks. This is the super that I used to get as my second super at the start to make the bot tune fight easier. But this Key Hunter is absolutely deadly, and this room is really slow without gravity. So I decided to move it. But yeah, basically the Y Faster 2 hacks are, they have like 5 short areas, and they're each based on other hacks that came out. So it's a really interesting mishmax of hacks that have already come out, and a lot of Meta's personal crazy style. He does a lot of crazy custom code stuff. I think he made the gunshot minigame for this, but I'm not sure. He did a lot of programming stuff for this. That spark's hard to get from here. And he's allegedly working on X Fusion, which is going to be a remake of Super Metroid. Or sorry, no, a remake of Metroid Fusion in the Super Metroid engine. And it's going to have like a ridiculous amount of custom code and level changes. Like Samus is actually going to be 2 tiles tall like in the GBA games. So if you've played Super Zero Mission, which is like sort of a retelling of Zero Mission, or an adaptation of Zero Mission in the Super Metroid engine, Super Zero Mission largely still just plays like an SM hack, just like this one. X Fusion is gonna look like it's Fusion basically, but it's gonna have SM controls and stuff. So a lot of people are really looking forward to that. Also, I'm gonna need a cutoff for Save the Animals fairly soon, once I get into Turian.
All right. Right now, Save the Animals is strongly in the lead, almost $100 over. So if anybody wants to sway that,
Yeah, you've got a minute for this elevator cut, or for this Golden 4 cutscene. Oh, this actually looks weird because like I turned off the screen shake visual effect to reduce lag throughout the run. So normally you'd see the screen shaking here, but it's just still here. Alright, so are we still saving?
yes, we do seem to be still saving the animals.
Okay, that's what we're gonna go with. Okay, doing these Metroid rooms at full speed is really, really hard. In this room, there's actually also Moktroids mixed in. They look like the baby Metroid sprite, but they act like the Moktroids in the vanilla game. It's weird because you have to account for like 2 different types of enemies you want to do different things with. So like, you don't have to freeze the Moktroids to kill them. You can kill them with screw attack, or just you don't have to kill them with a super after freezing. But it's weird to have like a second enemy within the mix that you have to do something different to kill. Alright, and that is a Metroid Mother Brain, so we're just going right into the escape. So we are going to be saving. So, kind of rule of thumb is if you're ever wondering where the animals are in a ROM hack, it's pretty much always Bomb Teresa's room. Say hi to the blue Decora. There's a couple sparks we need to get to the ship faster, so, oh, I bonked the ceiling on that one. And that's gonna be time.
GG. How's a super duper run?
Oh, thank you. This run is intense. Like, you almost get no breaks for it. The door transitions, the elevators are faster. You have to react a lot quicker to things.
And you came fully equipped with a lot of knowledge of not just the super duper Metroid, but very many of the community's ROM hacks. So it was very interesting to listen to, very interesting to watch, and a huge thanks to you for running this for us. Is there anything that you wanted to add before we moved on to the next run?
Yeah, not specifically that I can think of, but this is a pretty good hack. it doesn't require anything hard to beat it if you want to play it yourself. Like, you don't have to do any of the crazy speed booster stuff. The gravity to barrier chain is a bit weird. Like, you do have to do suitless Meridian to beat it, but because of the project-based engine, you get equipped with the ability to do like respin and underwater wall jump easily and stuff like that. So it's actually not too bad to navigate. Yeah, I think that's it. Looking forward to the Metroid Dread run coming up.
Yeah, for sure. I think we're gonna keep the keep your run going until we can see that 100%. Not that there's any doubt, but you know, gotta have to validate the run for us.
Yeah, I know it's 100% personally, actually, because I have the custom HUD that's included from the randomizer. So.
Gotcha.
Oh, actually, so yeah, I had 175 missiles at the end. I didn't even mention this, but you might have noticed that a bunch of the E-Tanks I picked up throughout the run were only 50s. The E-Tanks and Chozu Balls are the only ones that give you a full 100. So there's basically like 25 separate E-Tanks you have to pick up in a run instead of 14, and that's why the missile count is lower. But it's still 100 items.
Oh.
But yeah, there's also a percent counter in the pause menu for Project Base 0.8. You can see how much you have, and yeah, it's actually nice to run a hundo run for a marathon and not have to worry about missing an item, because I've run other hacks 100%, specifically redesigned 100% at multiple marathons, and I've missed hundo every time. So.
Dear Force.
Yeah, so thanks for having me again.
Well, and thanks for running this again. I think last year or in the fall you had the last run running I think Metroid Prime 2. It was a pleasure hosting with you again.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you.
And hopefully we'll see you next time.